Hello, everyone.
Hello, and welcome to our modified Australian comic review or indie comic review. While Shane is out of action for a little bit,
And
uh,
yeah,
go,
recovering. Yeah, we're doing well. The site is down. We've taken the initiative to continue the our mandate of reviewing some of the best indie Aussie comic titles.
mm. and the last few episodes have been requests that I had from the local comic expo that I was at couple of months ago. Now, this one today is a pre-release of the Reverie production Fawn, which is I think you said earlier was his Reverie's magnum opus. It's his
Yeah, that's his baby.
it
And
is
yeah,
well Toby's his
all have
baby,
babies. Yeah,
but this is more adult. This is Aussie superhero in
yeah.
the
It's in the
form.
vein of DC and Marvel. It
Oh,
has,
definitely.
yeah, similar proportions and very similar atmosphere and panel work, but the defining factor is the Australianness of it, the vernacular, the struth, the mates, and so on, and character names like Billabong and yeah, settings and characters themselves like the coral reef. There's a lot of iconography to do with the Australian culture, and they've transposed that in a comic book realm that could stand right up there with Marvel and DC and some of your other corporate fare. It definitely, yeah, it definitely has that energy.
Well, you've nailed it right on the head there. I was thinking it goes back to like the Southern Squadron and the Dark Nebula from the 80s. Those guys, now, and saying those names, this is an all-encompassing release. The Torn series, not just particular this one that we're going to review today. We'll get to that in a second.
Yes.
But it has a massive uh, roster of artists and writers, including those original artists and creators from the Cyclone guys, we call them, who did Southern Squadron and Dark Nebula, as well as just about everybody on who's got comics in the comic shop, basically.
So tell me, how does in a because this comic book was like 40 pages or 32 pages, something like that. How does one incorporate or solicit the involvement of multiple artists in a format that is otherwise skint?
I could do the oh geez, I'm trying to think of the word, but now bugger it. I said, well, you can offer to pay them. That'll always work.
No, no, no. I mean, no, no. How do you incorporate the works of multiple people? Do they work panel by panel?
Oh,
Because
sorry. I was going to say, how do you draw them in? Well, you draw them in by being someone like Gary Della, who is just a popular personality
of
in
course,
the Australian comic community and is well liked by everybody.
yeah,
So
NDA,
that's
yeah, of
one thing.
course, yeah,
But
you get, yeah, you pay them, of course, we're at that
no, no.
stage,
But
yeah.
what you said, how do you
Because when I read comic
obviously
books, it's just the
changes.
writer and the artists, it's the writer, penciler, inker, and the colorist. It's four names usually, sometimes only two,
Well,
and the
that's the
letterer.
funny thing about this. And I actually thought about it myself. There, this has got the funniest numbering system you've ever seen. Come out with Torn 1, and then it went to like Torn 7, and then Torn 6, and then Torn 34. It was
That's a
Gary.
William S. Burroughs novel. That's great.
It is. He has this grand scheme, and it's up here, and it's starting to take shape now. I have seen several of the other ones, and they all seem to fall in place. And I think that's how it works. There is an overriding arc of the story, but there is enough room for individual stories to go ahead. So does that make sense? So it's this.
So another artist picks up where someone else left off.
I think that's in the long run that someone will go. I know the first two were written by George Hall. This third one's written by Eli Abedin, who works out of Melbourne. I've met him, and George Hall also works out of Melbourne. George Hall is probably the same age as me. He's been around for ages.
30 years old? 30
yes.
years old?
yes, just 21 again. And Eli is a younger guy. He's probably in his late 30s. I think there is a bit of communication happening there. But in all of these, we're doing number 3. I suppose we should say, well, here is the cover here. Shane, can you put the cover up here, please? Peter Lawson has done the artwork for number 1, number 2, and number 3. Now this is the third one.
Forgive me, the name sounds familiar. Have we done a book by him before, Peter Lawson?
I don't think so. No. I'm trying to think. He may have done
We met you, Peter. My apologies.
Yeah, there's a lot of Peters. We may have got Peter Lane. He had Sky's Cavern when he did when we did was it? I can't even remember what it was. John Lowry's book that we did a couple of weeks back. So but
Defiance.
Defiance, that's it. Sorry, I'm sorry to John for forgetting that. But this one is coming out as a Kickstarter. We've been had a quick peek to give it a review to see if it's.
And I'll just say this: it's action packed. You open the page, you're straight away in the situation. The speed levels come at you, and you're swept away in the kinetic energy of it all.
Well, one of the reasons when I was offered this to review, I was all for it because I've actually been around a few places where Peter has, and I've watched this actually being created. Peter always carries around an iPad or a tablet, and he's always working on it. And the last one we saw, this was just about finished. It didn't have any of the lettering in it, but he's just improved. If you have a look at 1 and 2, and then 3, you can see his talent grow. He's just cleaner lines, better. Well, as you said, in number 3, the action seems to be well paced and seems to be just better drawn.
Pages of Marvel, yeah, Marvel comics. Their pages are like stone. No, Marvel comics. Yes, it's like straight out of Marvel, definitely.
As a black and white a work in practice, it looked fantastic. But I got a kudos to this Graham Jackson who did the colors. They are stunning.
Yeah, the lighting. Oh yeah,
especially with the waves.
Yeah, it's a vital contribution to a comic book.
And I think, oh man, that is so top. So I'm just having a quickie peek at who did the front cover there. That's someone else. Yeah, that's front cover was by Tony Menzies, isn't it? Can't really see that. There you go. Yeah, Tony Menzies. I know that there'll probably be a couple of variant covers as well, so I just thought that might have been Peter's. But I'm just looking at the way it's done. It actually almost mimics one of those Marvel DC comics, doesn't it?
I immediately thought Polaris from X Factor.
Oh, okay.
Green hair, you know who I'm talking about?
No. But I'm thinking, who's Polaris and X Factor? What brand are they?
green hair. They're the government sponsored X-Men equivalents led by Forge.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, okay. Because I'm just looking at this and going, this is like modern day DC, Marvel, and you can just look the layouts, everything. Obviously, Peter's been influenced by them, but I'm just looking at the animals and just everything about it is just screams superhero from the physiques on both the
Exactly.
men
Yes. Yeah, well
and women.
put. Yeah. Yeah. They certainly carry that look. And it wouldn't be a miss within one of the, within the pages of of a Marvel or comic or DC omnibus. But yeah, the one thing that sets it apart is its Australian iconography and its
Yes,
undeniable Australianness.
and the colors they drop from the ocean to we've got sunset, the sunrise, to underneath,
Yep, a
explosions.
full bed, yes, absolutely.
shadows. Hmm. Uh, I
We should just say that this issue is a well-structured fight scene between three proponents, and there
yes,
are scenes that orbit this fight scene. But the bulk of this book is is the evolution or the permutations of this fight between uh Red Gum and Torn versus Tracy. And a fourth, proponent emerges towards the end. We won't get into that too much, but for the most part, for the bulk of these pages, it is a fight scene between three characters. And
and
very well
thing.
paced, well drawn one as well.
Okay, yes, yes. So as an introduction to the Torn series, it's probably not the best. If you've already had the other two, it'll draw you in, definitely, because these early ones, just about every one of the comics is an origin story somewhere, because it is building its own universe. Um, but as a story for people who like good art and well-paced stories, I think they'll fall in love for that, because it is a really, really good comic for learning how to draw comics, I reckon.
All right. Yeah.
Good pacing, um, just the way everything falls into place. I do believe that we called him Tad P, the creator of Dark Nebula, also had a go at polishing this script up. So
So he
I did.
wrote some of it, or
Uh,
he responsible for a draft.
yeah, he did. You know, how you got a script doctor? He's come and done that. Just put in something here, something there, taking out something. I have seen a work in practice of the original script, and this one's better. It's
No,
the
right.
same, but it's
So
just
his mark is prominent.
yes, yes. You can tell that he's coming and going. Oh, just tweak this here, tweak that there, and it is good. Um, Not so much in the artwork, but just in the story itself. Just flow. Where you need to have this, you need that much dialogue and so forth. It's rather clever.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. So obviously, someone who's been doing it for 40 years knows what they're doing, and
I'm a
he's
big
come.
fan of paring down dialogue during the action scenes. When you find yourself going through the pages quickly, you know that it's been paced well and that you are fully immersed. Yeah.
Well, and you've got it is a, a full story floppy compared to what we were talking about in our last episode with Scar and the heavy dialogue short stories. It was this is more modern day where they were more um, tribute to the 50s and the 60s. But it is cool. I like the fact that how much Peter Lawson's artwork has improved. If you can get a copy of Torn One, and there's plenty of them around, uh, you can see a competent artist, but here you're seeing someone who's almost professional. So I like that. I like that a lot.
Oh, well, yeah,
Just
it's definitely professional. Yeah. Well, this one anyway. Yeah. Not
and
familiar with the earlier iterations, but if I have to be perfectly honest, I think I'm more apt to forgive illustrations if the story is strong enough. No,
well,
stick figures
Torn
is
One
good for me. Yeah, no.
is
Don Hertzfeld. Yeah.
is a good comic to get because it is an origin story from the start, and it's almost like Toby. It goes at breakneck speed, and it is actually the beginning of this story that we're seeing now. But hopefully, as these come out, they'll all be bundled together in a trade, and people will be able to really enjoy them. Who knows? Maybe with the Kickstarter, they might be bundling the first two together, so you can
Yeah,
get
I catch up tier. Yeah.
yeah, that'll be good because uh, Torn One is a good comic. Um, it's a good first comic. I probably does need a little bit of tweaking, and I do believe that they are going to do that. They're going to redo it, but not changing anything in the tone of it, just to bring it up to number 3 standards, which is good. And as I like to say, my little piece of trivia that Red Gum's origin story is in Toby and his magic pencil. Oh, and the magic pencil.
Yeah.
So in these Reverie comics, they all seem to be intermingled or interlinked somewhere along the line.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
I but getting back to it, Torn, it looks like it's going to involve a lot of the Australian comic
What
community.
names? Yes.
Yeah, who knows? You might even get asked to write a story.
It hasn't happened yet. Yeah.
Well, I've always marveled at for want of a better word, Marvel and DC artists who are brought in to do storylines for all the other well established uh, or comic characters. Whether it be Thor or Iron Man or Superman or Batman. Like I would love to do a Batman story, but I wouldn't know where to begin.
All right.
Geez, I think some of the best comics ever written have all been Batman stories, and the way
Great
people
character.
approach it.
Yeah. Great character, In many ways, it
I
already
know,
writes itself. Yeah.
but he's been portrayed so many different ways. It just amazes me the imagination of some people and the skill of how they can just make something grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. Then there's the other side where people just seem to just regurgitate the same old shit and just change
Uh,
the names.
The latest Batman didn't have his origin story. There was no trip to the theater. There was no back alley shooting. It was just straight into the main narrative with what was it, Carmine Falcone and so on. It was
I'm talking about the Robert Pattinson one.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that
No regurgitation.
But I think they just go on it that everybody knows his story these days. So let's forget that and let's just go into it. I
Yeah.
did enjoy that one, except there were a few sections that just did not need to be in it. Yeah, but
Oh, it
yeah,
is a well. I have a soft spot for 3 hour films. I like, let's there's a few 4 hour films out like Killers of the Flower Moon. Let's have directors who respect our attention spans.
I wasn't allowed to go see that. My wife wouldn't let me because she wanted to watch something shorter. So as soon as that comes on the streaming services, I'm really looking forward to watching that
Apple
because
TV, yeah.
I get a real craving for watching a bit of Scorsese and do his masterwork. He
You
is so
won't be
good.
disappointed. Yes. Yeah, it is an excellent film. Very dark and yeah, has all of its all the Scorsese hallmarks from the spiritual symbolism to the gangsterism and yeah, so on. But yeah, going back to Torn, so is it in the notification stage at the moment, or the pre-launch stage hasn't been set up yet? They're still in the pre-launch phase.
I think they're in the pre-launch phase. And the other interesting thing to note about this comic, if you had gone to the back, Reverie were going to do a kind of like a fanzine where they could just comic-related stuff, Australian comic-related stuff, where people could write about their interest in comics, or just write in about what they thought Torn was,
Get the
where it was
community
going.
involved. Yeah. Initiate that. I like it.
And also, the history of Australian comics. Instead of doing that, they're going to do that in the back of these comics now. So you'll get a maybe 22 to 24 page story. Then you're going to get about 6 pages of just fanzines that's going of interest to people in the know, I suppose, or fans or whatever. It gives a conduit for fans to contact with the artist or the publisher and other people to if you've got a bit of information, share it around. So I like that concept. I think that's going to help the industry grow a bit.
Yeah. Take note, other publishers, definitely.
So this what have we got in publishers here at the moment? We've got a few. They're still they've been around a while, so hopefully there is growth in this old industry yet. And if this is what we can expect in the future, excuse me, I keep looking down at the comic. I've only got it on iPad, that's all. So I think the future's going to be bright. This was all supposed to be happening this year, but Gary got sick, so it's just been postponed for a little bit. So hopefully this is a great kickstart for 2024, because what have we got? We just found out that Dead City Lullabies have got publishers. You've got number 2 Stellar Lands coming out.
Yeah, that's the pre-launch phase. Yes. But how's Gary doing now? Is he
good? All the bad health behind him, and he's come back with a vengeance. So I love that idea. So 2024 could be the kickstart of the Aussie indie comic
scene. Yeah. So yeah, on that note, let's sign off. Let's sign off on a hopeful, upbeat note. And if you have any more comics to recommend, please leave leave the recommendations in the comment section. Danny, where can we get the previous versions, the previous issues of Torn? I assume the Reverie website.
On the Reverie website, which hopefully we'll be able to put up here, but I do believe there also some of them are available in the comics site as well. But at this stage, definitely the reveriepublications.com.au.
Keep an eye out for the pre-launch page for Torn 3, which is incoming.
And I believe Torn 4 is not far behind. But saying that, there is also Torn 7. I think Torn 34. There's a few other
34. Magnum opus written all over it.
Yeah, but these are like little individual stories. This is the main body at the moment that's working on. So hopefully they'll keep coming with the same rate of knots that people will be only waiting maybe a couple of months or maybe a quarter, a new one every quarter. That'd be fantastic if that was the case.
Yeah,
and people can really get into
very impressive, because getting these out is not easy.
No, as you know, yeah.
It's fun, but yes, it's by no means quick or expeditious.
Yes, you can do it quick, but you usually do get a lousy quality comic. You've got to do it right. So, and sometimes that means a lot of backing, toing and froing, and getting things right. A lot of proofreading and just knowing your story, getting it all right. So, and this one, it should be interesting to see as it goes on and on and on, if anyone can pick, "Ooh, you forgot to do that," you know. In issue number 2, he did this. That's when people start picking that out and telling it, maybe that's a good idea. That'll be fantastic. It means that they're building a fan base, and I think Torna's the new Australian superhero. He's hoping it goes ahead. On that note, thank you very much, Max, and I'll see you next time. And if we don't see you, we don't know when this is coming out, because we've still got to wait for it to be.
Yep, comics is done at the moment. Yep.
We're pre-recorded. This is usually we pre-record with the idea of coming out next couple of days or so, but this one's pre-recorded until it can be edited. If I don't see you, if Christmas comes before then, all the best, and have a wonderful new year.
2024, the year of the comic.
Yeah.
The year of the comic.
Okay, mate. Bye.
Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.